Hello, I'm Erica Thurman, and I think it's time that I give you guys an update as far as my progress when it comes to my transitioning to male to female. As you can see, I've made a fair amount of changes. I've dyed my hair. It's obviously gotten a lot longer. This is the natural length of my hair. There's no extensions as of yet. And I've done a little bit better on my makeup. I've had a really good friend, Kyler, who has helped me out a lot as far as putting on makeup and experimenting with new things. And of course, my good dear friend Dustin, who has been very supportive and helpful as well. Also, I accomplished something quite important, quite major when it comes to my transitioning. I have finally, after patiently waiting and being persistent and finding the right doctor and going through all the hoops, I guess you can say, I've finally got my hormones. I just, I can't tell you how good that feels to get something that will help you transition into someone that you know inside you are meant to be and that you already are. You're just trying to show that from a physical standpoint, even though you know that spiritually and emotionally, you physically want to be able to show that too. And I think that's part of the reason why transgendered individuals take hormones is so that they can express that part of themselves for who they truly are, whether it's male to female, female to male, and so forth. I thought I would be nervous taking them, but I wasn't. When I got my prescription and I went to went down to the pharmacy to pick it up, I felt I just felt so happy, so so ecstatic. I felt like I finally accomplished something now that will help me really move forward in my life. Granted, it took a lot longer than what I expected to get my hormones, but things I think take time for a reason. And perhaps maybe the reason why it took so long for me to get my hormones is maybe because I wasn't quite as fully ready as I thought I was. I thought I was back then, but you know, I don't know if I was. But I know now that I am. And I feel happy about it. I don't have any regrets, nothing. When I got my hormones and I got them in the bag and stuff, um, and I had to go to work right after that, and my doctor told me not to take the hormones on the same day that I got the prescription filled, if that makes any sense. I was supposed to, she wanted me to start taking them tomorrow and everything in the morning. So I figured, okay, well, I waited this long, waiting another day to actually start taking them is not going to kill me. But just knowing that I had the hormones now finally in my possession was was so ecstatic. I mean, I can't tell you how happy I was. I'm a little tired right now. I've been up for most of the day and night, so if I seem a little groggy recording this, that's why. But it's been a long road, and I know the journey is not over, and I don't think it ever will be over. I think I'm just somebody on this earth who was destined to constantly evolve and to hopefully make a difference in any way I can. I think that's part of the reason why I'm here on this earth. I think I think people are who they are for a reason. And whether we understand that or not, it doesn't matter. It exists, and our jobs as human beings is to live our lives the best that we can to our fullest potential, and to not judge people for who they are, but about what they do as human beings and how they contribute to society. So if you're transgendered, don't worry about being judged. Just stay true to yourself, regardless of what people say or threaten to do. Because it will be out there. It does exist, unfortunately, for individuals like us. It is not easy to be transgendered. Even today in our society, we still struggle with discrimination and society trying to understand us, so to speak. And I know I've kind of gone off subject here, but I guess I just got a lot to say. But anyhow, back to the hormones. When I first took my hormones, I think it's very important to tell you the experience when you first take your hormones, because it's more than just taking the pills down. It's an experience. It's an experience every time. When I first took them, when I first had them in the palm of my hand, the estradiol and the other prescription, which I cannot pronounce, but it helps my breast development. So those who know what that is and who are transgendered would know what that is. Anyhow, I had some breakfast first, and then I got my hormones. I had them in the palm of my hands. I went back upstairs to get some water so I could take them down, and I looked at them and I figured, this is it. This is where my life is going to change. Not just because of the pills, but what the pills will do, what the hormones will do. Now, most people don't realize that you can take hormones in different ways. You can take them either through a patch, you can do them through injections, or you can take them orally. I decided to take them orally because then I have a little bit more, I don't know if it's more control. It just was more comfortable for me and everything, because then I don't have to go to my doctor all the time to get an injection or have to worry about replacing the patch for some reason or losing it. I would have the pills in a nice safe spot, and they would always be there, and I wouldn't have to worry. And again, that's the reason why I decided to take them orally. But yeah, I mean, when I first took them, and I realized, this is it. This is where my life really starts to change. I mean, my life has gone through so many changes already, as far as exploring my true self, and challenging myself, and taking chances, that doing things that I would have never had normally would do under the circumstances. But now that I'm out of my grandma's house and everything, I feel like I have this sense of freedom to do whatever I want to do. And I didn't feel like I could do that when I was at my grandma's house. See, if I was still at my grandma's house, living there, I don't think I would be taking hormones at this point in my life. So moving out of my grandma's house was a way for me to challenge myself to be a more stronger human being, a more confident human being, and to really discover who I truly am. Because deep down I knew who I was, but I didn't know how to express it, and I didn't have the confidence that I needed to express it, to express who I am. Dustin and Kyler have been quite instrumental when it comes to that for me. They're very good at challenging me and helping me to see outside the box, seeing the world in a much much more broader range. And now that I'm taking hormones, I've only taken hormones for 3 days. You guys, it's very important that you understand. I've only been on hormones for 3 days, and it's the lowest possible dosage. You see, the doctor that I found that is willing to work with me on this, which in my city I found it very difficult to find doctors who are even willing to comfortable enough, I guess you could say, in working with transgender individuals such as myself. But that's just been my experience. But anyhow, she was perfectly honest with me. She said she had never had a patient who was really transgendered, let alone wanted to take hormones, and that her knowledge of hormones was fair. But as far as prescribing them, as far as helping someone to make a transition is concerned, was a little bit beyond her knowledge, and that she would have to educate and do some research in order for us to begin. But she said that she was willing to help me get the hormones after she has done her research and after I provided whatever information that I could for her. At first I was a little nervous about that because she had admitted that I would be a little bit of a guinea pig, so to speak. This would be interesting for her and myself. That's why we both agreed that it would be wise to take this as slowly as possible, just to make sure that we're not making any major mistakes. It was my idea to start the hormones in the lowest possible dosage because I wanted my body to have a chance to acclimate to the hormones, and I think that's wise, and she agreed with me. So once she was comfortable enough to know what hormones that I needed the most and so forth, then we could begin. So on November 2nd, this November, on the 2nd, I went for my physical. She said she wanted to do a complete physical on me to see if I was in good enough shape to do this. And I agreed to do that. I figured, well, if this is part of the process, then this it's just something that I just need to do. So I did it. I agreed to do the physical and get myself checked out. Got the labs, we checked for lumps and stuff. I'm cancer free. I'm in perfect health. So that was good. And after that, same day, she prescribed me the hormones that I needed, which was the estradiol and the one that I can't pronounce, the one for breast development. And I take the ones for breast development. I take them twice. I take 2 of them a day, and then I take the estradiol once a day. Although I always felt like naturally I've always had a lot of estrogen, considering my voice and my figure and so forth. Even when I wasn't taking hormones or anything, people said I had natural feminine characteristics, which I've been very grateful for that. I've never been ashamed of who I am. I've had people try to take me down because of who I am, but I have always stayed true to myself to the best of my ability. And now with these hormones, I feel now every time I take these hormones, I feel stronger. I feel more like myself. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I don't have any regrets. I honestly don't have any regrets. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I know now that I've taken these hormones, I feel like truly now, I feel like truly now that this is the right thing for me. Because I knew once I had the hormones in my hands, and if I didn't feel right about it instantly, if I had any hesitation, then I realized that, well, maybe this isn't quite the path. Because once you take the hormones and once you do the surgery, there's no going back. It's a one-way ticket on my road, especially after you take the surgery. I mean, you can always stop taking hormones and, things would probably reverse, but I wouldn't recommend it. But